What's up, everybody? New Pod, Who Dis, Episode 7, coming at you. I'm Jake.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Joey.
And I'm Steven.
And we are rocking and rolling on Wednesday night. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to Mike at Stony Creek Realty. You can find him on Instagram at Stony Creek Realty. He gave us some lovely feedback on the Instagrams, and we love interacting with the fans out there.
Thanks, Mike.
So appreciate it, Mike. And then also shout out to Peerin.
Oh, yeah. Like peering through a window.
At Peerin Instagram. And she was the only person who sent us her Halloween costume. And she was a skunk?
She was a skunk.
A lovely skunk.
Yeah.
She won Halloween. She's not peering into windows like creepily, right?
No, absolutely she is. Yeah. Definitely.
Don't forget, follow us on Instagram at NewPodWhoDis, on Twitter at NewPod_Whodis, and on Facebook at NewPodWhoDis. And please let us know what's up. Even if you think we suck, tell us we suck and how we can get better. We'd love to hear about it.
Or just say hi.
But say it nicely, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be like, you suck, quit.
Hi, I love you. You suck.
5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So with the weather turning, it's that time of year where it's cooler out, right?
I think so.
Does
Correct.
everyone agree?
It's getting to
Feels
that
way.
point.
It feels that way.
We're still not at like winter coat level where it's like below freezing when you get out and like start your day in the morning, but it is getting definitely colder.
Yeah. So this time of year is when your tire pressure in your car significantly decreases. So that monitor finally popped on my Jeep. It said, okay, dude, time for some air in the tires. Normal thing. Let me stop at a gas station and get some free air. Where I usually stop is at the Wawa by my work, which, by the way, super stoked that Wawas are in Maryland now, because growing up in Delaware, they were really in Jersey, Philly, and Delaware. So super stoked there's a Wawa.
It was hard to explain to people down south what a Wawa was until we started getting them.
So I go to stop, and there's like 9 people in line. So
For air.
So it must have been this day that it was finally cool enough for so long that there was 9 people. So I was not going to wait for 9 people long to get air in my tires. So I go to the Royal Farms a couple blocks down the street. 10 people in line.
There's an air thief out there.
Like, what is going on?
It's almost like they're rationing air. Everyone's waiting in line like, oh no, you only get, it's like down to like 40 PSI a second now.
Who has time to wait that long?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Not for free air. I was ready to pay. I was about to offer the person in line $20.
What?
To be the first person in line.
Okay, I have...
Roll low.
Okay. But you could go to a regular gas station and pay $1 in quarters for air.
Who carries quarters?
I guess I do.
They better take Apple Pay because there's no other way that
Oh my
machine's
God.
getting paid.
You can't break $1? Come on.
Who carries dollars?
I do.
I've got a bike pump you can use if you want to put some back into it.
Oh, it's going to take forever.
Thank
I
God.
think it might even be impossible.
So what did you do?
So I'm still rolling around, low PSI, not good for the walls. So I finally get to another Royal Farms. Nobody's in line.
How
They don't
many
have air.
Wait. How many Royal Farms locations do you have just on retainer at
So
any given moment?
On Washington Boulevard,
There we
South
go.
Baltimore, there are 3 Royal Farms
Okay.
and 1 Wawa.
Okay.
And the further you get away from the city, you would think the better they get, but it's not. It's hit or miss at each Royal Farms. So I get to the 3rd one, no line. Sweet. I'm ready to get some air. This is going to happen, and maybe I won't be an hour late for work. I plug in the air pressure to my tires, right? The gauge is going 30 psi, 31 psi, 35. Beep beep beep. Stop. Cool. Do all 4 tires. Get back into the Jeep. The light's still on.
You got to reset it, right?
Mystery.
No?
The
Ooh.
light is still on. So I figured it was just going to take some time for the pressure to realize the sensor, right? So I drive around the rest of the day, wake up the next morning, still light on.
Did
Air
you do
pressure
it wrong?
bad. Apparently, because I went to Wawa finally today in Frederick, Maryland, and guess what? Someone doesn't know how to use the machine, so I wait 15 more minutes.
Yeah. Were you letting the air out
I think
by accident?
Jackie, I think you were letting the air out behind me, knowing how much of a problem it was going to be.
Here's the thing about this. My dad taught me how to put air in my tires when I was 16, got my license. Still to this day, not quite sure I know how to do it. So I feel your pain because I think I would have had the exact same reaction.
See, and I would totally agree with you that I was doing it incorrectly, but in the summertime, I take the air out of my tires weekly
Right.
to drive on the beach.
That was my
Yeah.
comment. You're the king of the beach.
That's what I mean.
You know how to
I'm
do
the
this.
king of putting air in my tires, and I can't figure this out.
Well, that's the problem. You're not on sand. You're on asphalt. You have to go to the beach, and you can only put air in your tires at the beach.
Yeah, probably. I can only put air in my tires when I'm half buzzed from drinking Miller Lights all day.
So did you Google it?
I had to Google it, and
you bought some Miller Lite?
The machine, yeah, I bought some Miller Lite during 10 o'clock.
In the
in
interim,
morning.
while the guy was fumbling with it those 15 minutes.
But end of the story. I finally have air in my tires. I'm safe driving, so no need to worry about it. I know you guys were worried. I was texting you guys this whole time
Nope.
to keep you up on the story.
No, thank God.
But remember, put tire in your air.
Yeah.
Put air in your tires because it is very unsafe to drive with low PSI.
That is true.
End of anecdote.
PSA, low PSI kills.
I think I have my car is a perpetual low tire, and it tells me all the time, and I just feel like I kind of in my back of my mind, I'm like, are you kidding, tire? Like, this can't be true. Every time I get in the car, it's low, but it's because I don't know how to use that thing.
That tire just might be ready to go.
No, my dad gets mad at me every time I go home because he's like, this is every single time. And I'm like, I know, Dad.
There's a reset button, like usually in cars in the glove compartment that you like hold in. It's like reset your tire pressure thing, and then it rechecks it.
Yeah, but I think my tire's really low on air.
Oh, well, that's
That's the problem.
That's what I hate is like the light. That's what annoys me the most. It's not the fact that my tire pressure is low. It's that the freaking light is on the
So
dashboard.
anal about the lights on
I
the
know.
dashboard.
Sometimes like when you get that one, it's not the like it's not like the emergency one, like, oh, stop driving, but like the one that's just like, hey,
Buddy.
yeah,
it's like a
guys,
notification
something's
on your
going
phone.
on with me, and I don't know what it is, and you're gonna have to either take me to a place where you can figure that out, or just like bang a bunch of my parts together and see if the light disappears.
Yeah.
But I hate lights on the dash that aren't supposed to be there.
Well, I just also, when the light goes on, it doesn't tell me which tire's low. There's 4 tires. How am I supposed to know?
I guess you're gonna have to go look.
Do you carry a tire gauge? in
Yeah,
your glove
but
compartment?
again,
Don't know how to use
Come
it.
on, come on.
Have you tried putting some soapy water in a spray bottle and spraying your tire, checking for leaks?
I'm not even going to respond to that because you know the answer is absolutely no. I have not done that.
How about the instant anxiety as soon as a light pops on your dashboard?
It's more of-
how
yeah.
much money is this going to cost me?
It's more of like a bunch of expletives, and then it's the. But then you have a good excuse though for something. If you need to have something, coming up in a couple of days, it's like, all right, yeah, hey, my car's having troubles. Like,
That's the worst excuse ever, though.
Just pack that one in the back of your brain. You're running late. Oh yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Pull that one out because it's still relatively true. It's like
Yeah.
in the recent memory, so you're not technically lying. You're just not being completely honest.
You still got to go get it fixed at some point.
That's true.
which
Or you
is-
just do what Jackie does, and what I do most of the time is call our dads
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, Dad,
Absolutely.
yeah, don't know how to do this yet."
Still need your help.
Dad's the original Google.
They honestly, they're your mechanic. They're your doctor. They are your therapist. They're just a little bit of everything.
My dad can look at a car and it fixes itself sometimes. He just like gives it a stare, and it's like, oh.
You're like, I'm convinced that wasn't my fault. Okay, Dad.
Do you guys listen to music in the car?
All the time.
Like how often? Constantly?
Like every time I get in the car. I'm still a radio person. I'm a big radio person.
Radio. What radio
Absolutely.
stations are you listening to?
I mean, 99.5.
For those of us not in the DC area, it's not hot 99.5.
Yeah,
it's
hot
like all
99.
your like greatest like hits of today. Like the dance music kind of stuff. Usually it's all peppy usually.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, we just always listened to, I grew up in the New Jersey area. There was Z100, and they had Elvis Duran and the Z Morning Zoo in the morning, and that was the greatest. And you got all of your news and all of the things you didn't want to know all at once, right before school. I still listen to the radio.
It's kind of fun in the morning to listen to like actual talk radio, like a morning show on the radio, because that's still kind of like its own, it's like kind of different. You don't listen to it all the time.
Yeah.
But then usually otherwise I'm listening to music, but in the car that my fiance and I like drive around in, it doesn't have like, a USB plug-in or like even auxiliary cable. So we're still rocking CDs. So we've been going through all of our old mix CDs that we still had lying around and just popping them in there and just letting them just roll.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like some of them are really good. And then some of them are just like, why did I make this CD? Like this is not good. I wish I could
like
recreate it.
Circa middle school or high school?
Like high school. Like
when the CDR first came out and you just went crazy.
Yeah, like when I got the Toyota Matrix and it had like a 6 CD changer and you're like, all right, it's got 6 CDs. 6 CDs are going in.
Yeah.
And then you had those big like portable CD carriers.
Yeah.
You could organize them all and like.
Did you rock the visor?
Yep, I had a visor and that thing was stuffed.
Greatest hits, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just like these are all my favorite playlists. They had weird names on them too, so you didn't really know.
What bands did you have up there?
Bands?
Yeah.
Oh, like a little bit of everything. Like literally anything that we were listening to in high school. It was on one mix CD, and that mix CD was labeled like, "This is the music." Yeah, this is driving home and it's dark out and it's raining and it's cold and you're going to be 5 minutes late past.
Oh, so you had themed mixes. So you only had CDRs. It was just CDR Central.
Oh yeah, it was white. Oh yeah, we would doodle on them, draw stars, draw like you'd make them for people and you'd.
One emotion per CD.
My go-to move for mix CDs was, and this took so much time, but I gifted these to friends, but I would write a story with every name of, like every title of the song in it around the whole CD. It was unbelievable.
In Sharpie?
In Sharpie, of course, yes.
So cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you make designs with them?
No, it would just go around in a circle, and then I would like also type it up because it's really hard to read that sometimes. But I did that for gifts all the time. It's like a whole story, but every, and sometimes it didn't work.
That's a really good gift, though.
Yeah,
up.
Sometimes like a sentence would just be the name of a song, and I would just continue on.
Think about that. Like, how long did it take you to do that? Would you say to make the CD
like
and do it?
A few hours? Yeah.
Yeah, like that is like if you're going to give a gift to someone, well, that is awesome.
Well, not only are you putting the heart and soul of the song selection into the mix CD, but you're pouring out your emotion.
Well, it wasn't like a love story.
It doesn't have to be.
No, but
just
it's your
like a
handwriting on a
story.
CD that I would still have to this day listening to it in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, emotion isn't just love.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I just wanted to
I love the way you said that.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I was super OCD about my binders, though, for CDs. They were in alphabetical order, and I had all of the what are the CD book covers? The books, the little things.
Like the artwork covers?
The
inserts?
The inserts.
The inserts, yeah.
Were in with every single CD.
With your CDs?
Yes.
That is, you just had a bunch of jewel cases lying around.
Yes, exactly. Those got thrown away. But so when I got a new album, I would have to put in alphabetical order, and if you got an A, it was the worst. And my sister used to make fun of me. Yeah, she'd be like, "Why do you keep doing this?" And I'm like, "Because it has to. How else are you going to find something if you're in the car and you're like, I got to get this CD, but I know where it is because it's
Did you
L."
have blank sleeves?
Like in the binder?
Like blank inserts so that when you did get something new, you didn't have to do as much work.
I was going to say get 26
well, it
sleeves.
filled up eventually.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. No, it was a lot.
It wasn't hard to fill those books up. Like, because we bought CDs back then.
All
so
the time. Sam Goody, what up?
What Jackie described is what I always wanted to do, but never had the attention span to
You would,
accomplish.
Jake, I think you would be the type of person where I would get in your car and you'd be like, all right, what do you want to listen to? It's like, all right, well, where are your CDs? And then you're just like, look around.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, under your seat.
Nailed it.
They're up in the window.
And they're in the wrong cases,
Yeah.
and you're like, God, I really just want to listen to this one CD.
You can't read what they say.
Yeah.
One has like one song on it.
Yeah.
So at the beginning,
That one scratched at that specific song that you really like.
at the beginning, that was it, but that was short lived because I was an early adopter of the iPod in the car because I knew that
yeah,
I
you were.
didn't possess the discipline
Yeah.
or the organizational skills to
do that.
maintain a CD collection.
Where were you getting your music? Were you downloading it illegally?
Well, I would never admit to a felony.
But
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. No, I would use file sharing. I never used Napster because I couldn't get it to work on my computer.
oh,
That's probably
That's
a good
fair.
thing.
Yeah, never. I think the first one that I got was Kazaa.
yeah, Kazaa.
I remember because
I remember.
And then
I remember my friends
LimeWire.
using Kazaa.
Yeah.
I never used Kazaa.
iPod was a
used it.
game changer for me.
Yeah.
I remember when I got an iPod and I actually I bought all of my music on iTunes. Like,
Was your first MP3 player an iPod or like
No, it was an
one of
iPod.
those like Sony
it
like
was a second gen iPod. like the big bulky one.
Yeah. Oh,
and
man.
actually, my parents didn't let me take it to school. Like when I first got it, because they were afraid people were going to steal it. Because it's like
That's fair.
It was new. Yeah, I mean, but the problem was like having all those songs. It was almost the exact opposite of the CD, where I couldn't listen to anything for more than like 10 seconds. I was just like, I have all these songs now. Like I'm gonna like 10 seconds of this, 10 seconds of that, bouncing around. It was terrible. I had to learn not to do that because it's annoying for people in the car too.
So you would have thought that I would have liked to make playlists after I made all of those mixtapes, but I really didn't like to do that. And one of my biggest things is like music. Like I listen to music based on my mood, and so that's why I like Spotify, because it builds me those playlists without me having to do anything. But I hated my iPod because I never wanted to build playlists, and I didn't want to listen to all of the songs.
You didn't like that curation aspect of it.
Yeah, it just really bothered me. So thank you, Spotify.
So you were a big mixed CD.
Mm-hmm.
You like to have a collection of songs rather than see. I was the opposite. I enjoyed album front to back.
Mm-hmm.
So I would listen to albums from the start to the end through my rides rather
Mm-hmm.
than a mixed CD. And if I wanted to listen to mixed, just like Jackie, hated making playlists, loved just shuffling the whole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
iPod.
all iPod shuffle.
Yeah.
But my first MP3 player was not an iPod. I couldn't even tell you the brand. It was probably like a ScanDisk MP3 player that
yeah.
powered on AA batteries. But I think it was like 2 gigs. Like it was huge for the time. But the only place I would play my MP3 player was through my Osiris book bag with AA powered speakers.
You had one of those?
Oh, I had one.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
Okay, so if you don't know what an Osiris book bag with speakers
Well,
is,
Osiris, first off, was like a skate brand company.
it was
Okay,
like
that's why I
the
don't
know.
skate brand
Brand.
in 2003.
Okay.
So I received this backpack for my birthday, and it was powered by, I think, about 200 AA batteries that you had to change every 3 hours.
What you did was you hooked your player into it, and then you could just walk around. It was like a new age like boombox on the
Yeah.
shoulder, except you had it on your backpack and annoying everyone.
But I didn't even get the one I wanted.
Did you cry?
I did. I was like, Mom, you had one job. I gave you the CCS cutout. CCS is an old skateboarding magazine
Oh, man.
catalog that was maybe the size of like a Moleskine journal.
It was pretty thin.
It was small. It was small, but I was always looking at the CCS catalog because I was so good at skateboarding. That was sarcastic. I was terrible. But no, the backpack, it was the jam, man. That was the thing. That was like the portable music before music was portable.
Before that, though, even was the Walkman. Did you guys have
Yeah,
a
the
Walkman?
Walkman.
Yeah.
Did you have
The portable, like,
did you guys have
CD
a Walkman?
Portable digital music. All right,
Okay,
guys.
there you
No,
go.
guys,
There
the
you
real game changer was when you had the portable Walkman CD player and it had the no skip feature. When you could finally take it on the bus and like it hit a bump and you'd be like, oh, sweet, it's still
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the most,
I
that was the best
I
technological
ruined some
revolution.
CDs before having that feature because you're just like all of a sudden you're not moving very fast, and then you start running somewhere and you forget, and then just and you're like, oh man.
Yep.
All right, round table starting with Jackie. What color was your Walkman?
Oh, I think it was black.
Black?
Yeah.
Standard?
Blue.
Blue?
I think I had one that was black, and then I think at one point I did have a blue one. It was more like a dark blue, almost purple maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had blue as well, but it was like a not gunmetal, but like a metallic blue.
Oh, yeah, I had that same one, I
Metallic
think.
blue.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like kind of shiny.
Pot
yeah.
5.
But more importantly, what headphones did you rock?
I had the
Oh.
not over
Yeah.
the ear, just like
Yeah.
the really
Those are the
uncomfortable, like windscreen falling
yeah.
off your head, want to die.
Yeah.
You one with like the little, it's like a little clip. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't put it on any one ear, like any ear without.
Oh, I didn't
falling
even
off.
have clip. Mine was just
On
on your
top.
head.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like
the ones that came with it.
I'm talking about the ones that like went right behind your ear, and sometimes they had a thing that
my-
went behind your neck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the
Sport
ear
edition.
pad was like massive.
Yeah.
So like it looked like someone's ear was like way out, like an inch off their head.
Yeah.
Oh no, those are the ones that I wanted, where the band went behind your
you
head.
didn't know. You didn't want those.
I had the band on top of the head.
Yeah.
That's what I
regular.
Yeah, just the regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, the normal
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I rocked the old school. It's almost looked like you were you're on like an old school movie set, like in your recording a VHS, like the little
Exactly.
tiny rabbit ones.
You weren't
Exactly.
deep into the athleisure back then. All the athletic kids had the behind the head.
Yeah, not me. I was the least athletic kid.
Dude, you were like the skateboarding champion. I think that's pretty athletic.
Skateboarding wannabe champion.
In his bedroom, flipping through CCS.
Dude,
all you need.
I landed a kick. No, I did never landed a kickflip. I remember when I was ollieing over manhole covers, I thought I was the dude.
I couldn't even ollie, so.
I just don't even understand this language.
Oh man, good
Man, now
times
I'm
down that
I'm
way,
real
man.
nostalgic now for like old school bus rides because that was like, man, it was a little dark. You get that good like album going on the way to school. You guys have made me real sad.
How long were your bus rides?
Oh, where I lived, we had to drop off the high schoolers first. Like, so when I was in middle school, right? You had to we had a bus that shared for like the high school and the middle school. So like, we had to go drop the high schoolers off first, and then we went to the middle school. So like, my bus ride was like 20, 30 minutes, dude. I could get through an album.
Wow.
Yeah, like some 41 album, like easily.
Oh.
Was that like after you milked the cows?
I was gonna after
Yeah.
Jackie's radio comment, I was gonna say, did you guys feel that you kind of inherited your parents' radio preferences? Like, I remember riding to school in the morning with my dad and listening to like the Eagles talk show radio. Like, I don't even remember what it was, but it was just like Angelo Cataldi and the morning team.
I listened to WMMR, which was a Philly station. Was Preston and Steve on that?
I can't remember. I thought they were
Or
on
Y100?
Y100 was Preston and Steve, I think.
Y100 was the Z100 of a different region, wasn't
Yeah, I think it was 99.5 WMMR in the morning. Was what
Is that
I
what
was
your
used
parents
to.
listened to?
Yeah. A lot of classic rock. What did you guys listen to?
I mostly listened to what I just said, the talk shows. I don't know.
I think if I was in the car with my dad, I don't know. I just remember like either he had like a Marcy's Playground tape inside of the car, or that was on the radio station he was listening to.
Marcy's Playground.
Pretty much, like that's kind of what I remember. Like music when I was a kid, like that's the song that would be on. Like if they were just doing housework cleanups, like that's all I really remember about like
Sex and Candy?
Yeah, Marcy's Playground, man. Like I'm sending that one to the next time capsule that's going to space.
That was on Now
National
One.
treasure.
I remember that.
Oh my God! Now,
Yeah.
Now one. It was just now.
Right, that's right. You're absolutely right. Now that's what
Now
I
it's
call
on, like,
music,
Now
but Sex
volume
and Candy was on it.
7,305.
You can fact check me. And I remember all of the songs on that album, and I don't really know why. But Janet Jackson was the first song. I was like, no, look at you know the one.
on the original.
Yeah.
Together Again, Janet
That's
Jackson.
the one.
I
That's
can't
the
believe.
one.
Okay, all right. To see if you can you tell me the first 5 songs on Now?
SR 71.
Sex and Candy was not one of the first 5.
Is SR 70? No, that
No,
was
Sex
on
and
a-
Candy. They closed out with Sex and Candy.
Yeah,
Was
as
Carlos-
you
should.
was-
At the something with the sun.
Black Hole
Walk to the sun.
There was some Santana on there.
No.
Smooth?
God,
We're failing.
Santana.
This is taking hard.
I don't know.
I'm cheating.
Well, okay, so you got Janet Jackson as
Yeah.
one.
Was there like
Backstreet Boys at number 2. As Long as You Love Me.
Oh,
See, that
man.
makes a lot of sense.
Fastball the way.
That's the one I was
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
of. Fastball the way.
Wow.
You got Spice Girls on number 5. Say You'll Be There. You got Casey and JoJo. All My Life.
It's hands down the best and only now anyone
Oh,
should be
Hanson.
listening to.
Mm.
Oh, you got Barbie Girl on there from Aqua.
I
Oh,
would
Barbara Girl was a banger.
Here's the thing. I would still listen to that. Barbie Girl is a
Come on,
banger.
Barbie, let's go party.
Oh my God.
That would be the iTunes review for that
yeah.
song. Now, a banger.
Yeah. I'm going to maybe listen to this album
You know,
later.
like, so that was released October 27th, 1998.
Do they have Now on Spotify?
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can get all
Oh,
the
yeah.
nows up there now.
Oh, wow.
1998. That was my prime.
October 27th, so that was 19 years ago.
Oh my God, that's so weird. And I remember
19.
that's bizarre. I had all the nows.
68 minutes, 42 seconds
My
of
dad-
pure
When did you
bliss.
stop collecting now?
Like in the late teens,
Like last year?
like 17 or 18. No, so they sold them at Costco, and I've already told you my parents are a big Costco family. So my dad used to buy a Now every time it came out, and we used to. I mean, he gave them to me; they were mine. But we had I don't know where any of them are, but when we had 3 of them in the boat, and it was like Now 6, 7, and 8, and those are the only things you can listen to because the radio was broken
On the boat.
yeah, but the boat is gone. And it was the best. I mean, Now is the absolute best. I just remember I have very fond memories that are accompanied with listening to Now.
That's incredible.
So Now is on number 63. It was released August 4th.
They're still making them?
Yes.
Okay, so
63.
let's break down that math real quick.
Wait, but are they making them as physical CDs?
Well,
Definitely.
that's a good question. I do not know.
But okay.
So let's do
it's
the math.
3 a year.
3 a year.
That's a lot.
I feel like that many hits don't come out.
I mean,
Do you
but
think more
I
music
don't-
is coming out now than it was?
I would
when
be
Now
really
One
interested to
came out?
see. Well, maybe. Yeah, probably. Because
Or more
everyone can
hits.
make it faster. Everything's
fair.
designed to be a hit nowadays.
Yeah.
Which I would argue maybe we need to get now a little, there's 22 tracks on here. Ed Sheeran, Imagine
Ugh,
Dragons,
don't
Selena
talk to me about
Gomez,
Ed Sheeran.
Calvin Harris, Jason Derulo, Kendrick Lamar, Linkin Park, Miley Cyrus. So
Too soon.
I would argue that if there's 3 a year and these artists are getting on multiple, now that's what I call. You got to make it more harder to get on it.
Here's the thing that I do remember about Now was that it was a little bit behind. So you would get it was the hits from 6 or 8 months ago.
Because they had to make the packaging.
Right. And so then by that time, you're kind of oh, I'm sick of this song. You can only listen to Miley
True.
Cyrus so many times in a row.
Or they're on that sweet spot where you were just getting to the point where you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
remember this song 6 months ago? Because that felt like a long time then. Now it's like a week.
Maybe. I can't believe they're still making them. Thank you for enlightening us.
That's so sweet.
63. I can't wait to get to 69. That's just
Okay. With that.
Now 69.
Yeah.
Banger edition.
Oh my God.
So we wanted to give a little shout out to a startup that's in the DC area, kind of going along with a trend that's been emerging recently, which is virtual reality. So we see a lot of virtual reality equipment coming out that's dedicated. They have virtual and augmented reality goggles that use smartphones. So this company is called Augment Arcade, and what they have is set up at a bar. I think 4 or 5 separate stations that you can pay $20 and you get so many hours of augmented reality experience. Have you guys ever tried anything like that?
No. It sounds super cool though.
Yeah, I've actually been to it a couple of times. It's kind of like a $20 cover kind of thing. And they have a bar right there. You can kind of hang out, watch other people playing. It's almost just as fun to watch other people playing virtual reality because you can see what they're seeing on a screen. And you just see them just kind of flailing about and you're just cracking up. But the first time I ever played virtual reality, I was just completely blown away. I played.
So what do you do? So walk us through it from beginning to end. How do you start?
For the game, getting into virtual reality?
Just putting on the equipment all.
Yeah, so at Augment Arcade, you have the HTC Vive or Vive. You put the goggles on, and you've got the 2 kind of handsets. And once those are on, you put you have earphones on, so it's a whole immersive experience. You're kind of shut out from everything, and you'll look down and you'll see whatever the hands are in the thing. So
if let's say you were in a shooter game,
Yeah.
you look down at your hands and you're holding a weapon.
yeah, so they have military simulations. You'll look down, you'll have a gun in your hands, and you can actually cock the gun and load it. You've got ammo in your belt clips. You got to reach down and
That's
put it
insane.
in. It is awesome.
So are they all violent or can you play some Yoshi?
yeah, there's fun stuff. I'm just interested in VR too, is just doing experiences. The only time I've ever used VR was at a museum, and it was you got into the headset and then you could walk around on old bridges, and it was in Amsterdam, so you could kind of see what it used to look like. But I'd be really interested in I can't remember what a coffee company came up with it, where they you could train as a barista in VR, which I thought that would be kind of cool because
that's neat.
you can kind of get into a different experience, right? Because I think that's for me that'd be the whole point of doing VR is I can't do this in my normal life, so let me get into the VR thing.
It's like Sims, but we're acting it out.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if you could go into the Sims world in the VR and you actually walk around the house you made.
Which
I'm
is really
excited.
just regular life.
Yeah.
Well, they have.
But when you talk, it's
You can
sim
do
voices.
that.
But I
You
can't-
can do that now.
Yeah, but I can't make my house perfect.
I just want that green light above me.
I don't have unlimited money with a code.
I'm looking at some of the games they offer. If you want to check them out, it's at augmentarcade.com. There is actually a game called Alt Space VR that looks like it's just a digital world that you walk out around with an avatar.
I want a digital world where there's a dance floor and I can dance in that digital world, something I can't do in real life. That'd be awesome.
It's like Dwight in The Office and playing Second Life.
Second Life.
But then he builds a second life, so he's even further removed from reality.
They need a game called Barbie Girl in a Barbie world.
Ooh.
I like it.
Throw it back to the now.
So
That would
Joey,
be for Jake.
when you've played, that'd be his game. He'd be all in
Super
that.
into it.
When you've played like VR stuff, like I've never done any games in it before. Do you get like dizzy? Like, what's it like?
Ooh, okay. So yeah, one of the first times I tried it, I was playing a shooting game, and like in typical shooters, like you controlling the joystick and you only see in one plane. But in VR, things are coming at you in a 3D space. So nobody told me that. And so I just hear this guy coming out at the side, just like, whoa, like getting real loud. And I just look over and he's right in my face. And I fall to the ground, throw the headset off. And
Wow.
I'm like, no, I am done. That's nuts.
I probably would have peed myself.
Yeah, I don't think I could
was
do
like-
that.
It was scary. I was like sweaty and I was just like, whoa, that was intense.
I mean, you're emerging your sight, your ears, right? Your ability to hear.
You kind of lose,
Your touch, kind of, because your hands are holding controllers.
but you lose like that sensing of touch because like you kind of, when you can hear things outside, you can kind of almost sense when something's getting close to you. But then I feel like when I at least had the VR on, I literally was scared because I have to see around me. Like I don't like being shut off like that. It's almost claustrophobic. But I'd love to try like some other VR experiences. So something like Augment Arcade would be a really cool way to do it. You can go and try out a bunch of different stuff,
Yeah, $20 and you get, as many sessions as you want for however long you're going to be there.
which
And
is way cheaper than buying these
Way
headsets.
Oh,
cheaper.
yeah.
Because I've looked at it.
We're going to need a pod trip.
I think we're definitely going to have to do a pod trip and
Do a little,
explore our experience on a podcast
I think we can make
afterwards.
a little video about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I haven't done it yet, but I have watched people do it, and like Joey said before, it is almost as good as doing it yourself because you're seeing people wave around in air, and if you've never done it before, you don't know what to expect. So
Yeah.
especially even being an avid gamer when I was younger, I haven't played video games in years, so
Now you have to
I would
use your
be-
whole body.
I would be far removed from it. So.
Yeah.
Remember when the Wii came out? That was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like with tennis and stuff. But like, I think it'd be even a better experience if it was like in a VR thing with better controllers.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in. Sounds good, except I
Yeah.
don't want to kill anyone.
So yeah, where can they find out more information about
If
this?
you go to augmentarcade.com, they have everything you need to know and more about the VR experience. So check it out.
Awesome.
Cool.
Sounds good.
You can Google that, and we will Google what?
Google what? What'd you guys get into this week?
I Googled, it's kind of boring. Well, you know what? It's not. Who is the richest woman in America? And so it's Alice Walton, who is Walmart, that person. But she's the number 13 richest person in the world, in America. So that just made me really upset that it takes 13 people to get to a female. But that's another topic for another day. The next one is Jacqueline Mars, so we have the same name, so that was pretty cool. But that's Mars Inc., the candy company.
I have a question about
Hashtag goals.
the first thing. Are there corporations there? Because corporations are people too.
This is the richest woman in the world. That is what I Googled.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the list that she was on.
Oh,
Like, who was above her?
well, no, she's the first. She is I Googled who is the richest woman. That's the list.
It's just a list
Yeah.
of the richest women. So
But
she is
before
number
her, it was like, I don't know who, a bunch of men. So
Yeah, because you said she was 13, right?
ranked 13 of the richest overall people in
Got it.
America. Sorry if I'm not making, yes, that is what it is.
No, you explained.
Okay. So that's what I Googled. So I'm trying to get on that list, I guess.
I mean, that is interesting. How much is she worth?
She is worth $35.4 billion.
I bet she's got VR.
And she gains $3.4 billion. Well, she gained $3.4 billion in the last year alone.
She does a lot of philanthropy, right?
I'm sure she does. I mean, I feel like all rich people do.
I mean, if you had that much money, like if I had that much money,
better.
I would be throwing it everywhere that needs money.
Yeah.
You can't use all that money.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Jackie, you said you wanted to be on that list.
Yeah, that's the goal.
What's intriguing to you about accumulating that much wealth?
I mean, it's just like That's so cool. Her name's on this list. She's also a woman. I mean, so another thing that I wanted to go down a tangent on, but then I just didn't have enough time, was a lot of these women are married to wealthy men or inherited their wealth from their fathers or parents, I guess. And I guess I should have Googled who is the richest independently rich woman in the world, which I didn't get to. That'll be the next one.
Stay tuned. Mm-hmm. What'd you Google this week, Steven?
So I started listening to a new podcast out called Heaven's Gate, and they're talking about the Heaven's Gate cult from back I think it was like 20 something years, or like 1997, I think it was, when the 39 people in the cult like committed like the mass suicide because they all thought they were really like not killing themselves. They thought they were gonna like drink the juice. He said it wasn't really juice; it was like a pudding, but that was like laced with a bunch of stuff, and they all just like went to sleep. And then the people that weren't killing themselves, because they did it in shifts, so they did like 15 people did it, and then like the other people put like a blanket over the top of them, and they all wore matching Nikes and tracksuits. It's crazy. It's like it's super culty, right? But they were talking about the people that started it and like their haircuts and just like how they looked really weird, because the two people that started it thought they were like from outer space, and that they were like this like coming of like God and from outer space, and they had to round up people to prove that they were like, you know, from outer space and crazy.
What were their haircuts like?
So they said they had like unisex style haircuts, and so I was like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
That's why I looked it up, because I was like,
when was this written?
Not all. It's like it's culty, so I'm already kind of intrigued, because that's kind of just weird. But then when they said like everyone like dressed to look kind of like the same gender, and so they said unisex haircuts, I was just like, all right, well, what kind of haircut was that? And so I looked up like the people, and it's just like that kind of creepy alien looking haircut where it's just like you took scissors and you just drew a straight line across the top of your forehead and just was like
so what you're saying is they all looked like they were in a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, maybe Wes Anderson's in a cult, and that's where he got it from. I don't know, but I'm super
the leader
I'm
of
super
the
interested. Yeah, he would. He'd get me to join for sure. Yeah. So I mean, the people looked creepy. Their names were Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles. Those were like the two leaders, and they went by like a bunch of really other weird names like Bo and Peep, like the sheep.
Yeah.
It's weird, and like I definitely recommend, if you do want to find out more about Heaven's Gate and like these creepy people, do it during the daytime. It's not a nighttime thing before bed.
I can't watch. We've been trying to finish Stranger Things, and I can't even do it because I'll have nightmares. So I'm definitely not going to listen to that before bed.
Yeah, strict 11 p.m. no scary stuff rule. Yeah, that's what it is.
But then it made me want to ask you guys, what would it take for you to join a cult? Like if someone came to you and they're like, yo, here's this group of people, we love this, like join us. What would it be for you guys?
Either a very low bar or a very high bar, depending on what they were culty about.
I mean,
like if they're like, hey, we're like the LaCroix peddlers of America, I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah. Anything having to do with chocolate or ice cream, done. Watching TV all day, fine. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Organizing your CDs with the CD slips perfectly in alphabetical order.
Yeah, that would be good too.
For a cult, for me, I think I would like to be in a fully sustainable community. So if we were generating our own power or not using power, if we were producing our own food, if we had our own community sports, I mean, I could get into that, like kind of a Lost mentality, like the Others kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because it doesn't have to be like negative either. Because I feel like cults get a bad rap. It's just like a group of people who like define themselves by like a religious, spiritual, or like other belief system. So I mean, you could totally be off-grid cult.
I mean, it's just cults basically feed on the human instinct and desire to be part of a community, and it usually preys on people that don't. I say prey, but it includes people that, you know, have a weak mindset and are just looking for someone to tell them how to live and what to do and belong. That's what's so intriguing. Yeah.
There was a time when like owning Apple products made you like culty. Like people were like, oh, you're part of the Apple fanboy cult.
Oh yeah, like I drank the juice with Apple for sure.
I'm chugging the juice, man.
Yeah.
So I guess we're
No
already
regrets.
part of a cult.
Yeah. I'm definitely part of the Apple
Yeah, we just
cult.
need someone to send Jackie an Apple Watch.
Oh, God.
Then we can complete the circle.
There is a podcast about
Join
cults
us.
that I've been meaning to start listening to called Zealot, and it's an Australian podcast, but they talk about it in another podcast that I listen to.
Ooh,
But apparently it's
a
pretty
cult
good.
podcast?
It's about cults.
Oh, I'm going to listen to that. I'll give you a readout.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start it too.
I had a similar Google what that's sort of culty. I Googled, does Tom DeLonge have schizophrenia?
Oh,
Interesting.
Because
My vote is yes.
does anybody else have a strong opinion on this before I delve into
don't I
it?
want to know?
And that is as a non-medical professional.
Joe, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Well, don't be, because this was a sad thing I had to Google.
Oh.
So Joe Rogan has a podcast, which I'm a big fan of, and I think you are too, Jake.
Absolutely.
I got turned on to that by my friend Zach. Shout out to Zach. And he interviewed Tom DeLonge this past week or two. Tom DeLonge was my teenage idol. I was like, I want to be Tom DeLonge. I had my lip pierced, did all the things that he did. My friend had a seafoam green
Who's
guitar.
Tom? Who's
okay,
Tom
so
DeLonge?
Tom DeLonge is, if you don't know, the lead guitarist of Blink-182. And Tom has been obsessed with aliens forever. And so he goes on Joe Rogan's podcast and he just like goes off on all this stuff like, oh yeah, there's aliens and like, I know all this shit. And Joe Rogan's like, all right, well, like, tell us about it. And he's like, oh, well, I can't tell you like, what it is or what that is, but like, we've got some stuff, man. Like, we've got this metal that like floats in air because of the terahertz that we shoot over it. And I'm like, I don't know about all this physics stuff, but it sounds like you're being bullshitting right now.
Yes.
And so it was very disheartening to hear.
That's tough when you have somebody that you look up to your entire life and then you see them just completely unfold.
Yeah. And then you wonder if you're crazy.
But that's pretty much every musician we've ever really liked.
that's true.
I'll be honest.
Tom DeLonge went as far as starting his own like UFO research company called To the Stars.
That's what the whole podcast was
I
about.
have
Yeah.
a board of directors.
Yeah.
So he
sells merch.
That's unbelievable.
For To the Stars, which actually the merch does look pretty cool. So, I mean, kind of valid for me. But then like to fund this like UFO thing, and that's I think why he did all that like Angels and Airwaves spinoff. And like they did that movie with Angels and Airwaves and it was all about space and stuff.
I just can't tell if he's trolling.
He might not. Okay, my opinion is he's not trolling. He's just gone real hard into this like side life of his, where to him he's living he's living his best life.
It's his own cult.
Yeah,
with those directors, whoever they are.
He's the
Money
director.
hungry.
He says he has all these like CIA and government officials on his board of directors.
See, okay, and there's the red flag. I feel like anytime somebody says something that's like, yeah, and the CIA, and you're like, no, because if this were true, the CIA would not make itself known. That is the point of the CIA.
Or
that's true.
They could be like, well, we'll just tell this crazy rock star guy, and then like, whoever believes him, they'll be like, oh, are you a fan of Tom DeLonge? Like, that's crazy talk.
Oh my God.
That's smart too. Or he's just like the smartest marketing person in the world, and has just like gone full on to this plan.
Yeah.
I mean, like they say, if you have to say you're a king, you're not a king. If you have to say it out loud, it's not. Yeah. But check out that Joe Rogan podcast because with Tom DeLonge, Joe Rogan does a really good job of diving deep into his guests and really not letting them off the hook with something they say. So if Tom DeLonge makes an outrageous claim, Joe Rogan will stop and say, okay, well, let's go further into that. Let me hear some sources. And he listens intently to what they have to say because he also has guests on there about like flat earth theorists, which is we could do like a whole series of podcasts about that. But we'll save that for another episode. So Google what for me this week? Let's see. I had to get into German short-haired pointers because I do something.
Pornos?
Yeah, what was
Pointers.
the last word?
Oh,
German
sorry.
short-haired pointers. It is a
Pointers.
breed of dog. And every now and then I will dog dream about the type of dog.
PJ is right here.
I know, but PJ's getting old.
PJ
and
is our podcast dog.
We're gonna need an old dog or a new dog to
Oh my
make
God.
that easier once that happens.
Earmuffs, PJ.
You guys know PJ. He's on the
pod
podcast
dog.
almost every episode. But German short-haired pointers are, if you've never seen one, Google it, check it out, because they are a really gorgeous dog. But we could never, I would never have one while we lived in the city, because they are super hyper and they need a lot of exercise. So, but that's what I Googled this week, just kind of doing a little dog dreaming.
Are you a big fan of the dog, like the National Dog Show every year, like that competition?
That's
Do you watch
on,
that like around Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, yeah. I'm a big fan. I'm also a big fan of the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well that's
Yeah.
just
I think I like
that's just
that
a
better.
bundle of cuteness.
Yeah, but not this year because it's Justin Timberlake. So
Yeah, that's going to be amazing.
yeah, I know.
Wow.
I'm already thinking about it.
Breaking news. We actually broke that. Justin, not.
We
That's the
did.
first
We
I'm
did
hearing about
not.
it.
Oh, we broke it to Joey.
I'm all excited
Justin
now.
Timberlake is the halftime show. Yes.
get on it.
I also Googled custom printed t-shirts, and I'm not even going to get into that. That's just a little teaser for the future. Custom printed t-shirts. Let that one settle.
I'm just super excited over here.
And then the last thing I looked up was...
Oh, you were busy.
I had a lot going on this week. I had a lot of things I needed to know more about. I also checked out... I saw an advertisement for Carvana, and Carvana is a startup that sells direct-to-consumer cars, used cars. So you can order it on the app, you finance it on the app, and they just drop it off at your house. What?
That's too easy.
Will they fill up your tires with air?
Yeah.
That's
They
actually the
teach you
first
how to
thing.
do it.
That's the first thing they tell you. It's like,
Task
look,
rabbit.
We got to make
weather-
sure they have good customer service for Jackie.
Yeah. Seriously.
Hey, you dropped my car off like 5 years ago, and I haven't done the tire pressure since then. How do I do
change the
that?
oil? In
Yeah.
This thing?
Jake's
What?
waiting for 15 cars, but I just, can you just bring it back?
Oh my God.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, but yeah, that's what I got into, man.
Those are good.
Well, that's all we have time for this week, but don't forget to check us out on Instagram at NewPodWhoDis, on Twitter at NewPod_Whodis, and on Facebook at NewPodWhoDis. From all of us here, see you next week.
Peace out.
See you later.
Peace.